Hey everybody, it's me, MC Gingerbread here to make another video complaining about things. Today, I'm going to be talking about PlayStation and how I think they suck. Now I know I'm going to get a bunch of Sony fanboys in here saying that like Xbox has no games and that Nintendo is just for a bunch of kids. And I'm not saying that all those companies don't do shady shit practices. I'm just tired of all the fucking hype over Sony, so I want to crush it so I can make everybody bitter and angry on the inside like me. So anyway, first we're going to start off with the consoles. Hey, look, it's a little PlayStation emblem. Are you going to help us make fun of your consoles? Are you going to... Ow! The fuck? You bit me, you little shit. Get the fuck out of here. God damn it. Anyway, today I'm going to be... First, we're going to start off making fun of those consoles. We're going to start with our new consoles, the PS4 Pro. Now this bad boy can fit a whole lot of bullshit in it. So let's just jump on in. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so the PS4 Pro, the big selling point to that guy is the fact that it's a 4K console. Ooh, ah. But in actuality, it's not 4K. It's 2K stretched to 4K resolution. So they take that video of 2K content, 1440p, and they stretch it to that big 2160p, even though it's not actually there. They just stretch it out, so you don't actually get 4K content. And despite that fact, they've been telling multiple companies to say like, hey, look, 4K day one. And when people ask, is it native 4K or is it upscaled 4K? They just straight up don't answer. They've added some new games, yes, that have the capability to play in 4K, but it plays at barely 30 frames per second. The Xbox One X, which is the more powerful console, does actually play games in native 4K, but just barely scratching the surface of it. The PS4 Pro can, however, stream in 4K, but so can a fucking Fire Stick, and those things are $50. So, whoop-de-fucking-do. And the craziest part about the PS4 Pro is that the fact that it doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player in it. And why is that crazy? Because Sony owns the fucking patent for Blu-rays. They literally get money every time that someone fucking buys a Blu-ray and they didn't put it in their goddamn console, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And the biggest excuse that Sony has is that they think that physical media is dying. They don't think that anyone's going to buy any more physical content. But there's been a study by Variety that actually shows that more people are buying 4K Blu-rays than when people were buying Blu-rays when they originally came out. Almost twice as much. So that whole logic is completely ass backwards. Like, I don't understand. The Xbox One S is a 4K Blu-ray player, and it is $100 cheaper. And it even goes on sale for as low as like $200. So like, why the fuck did they not put it in their system? It doesn't make sense. It is just dumb. And then the other console that they have, the PS4 Slim, there is literally no difference between it and the original PS4. Like, they saw Xbox's One S and they were like, ooh, I want to do that too. But when it actually comes to the differences between the two consoles, there's almost nothing different other than the size. Oh, also the fact that they took out the digital optical port on the PS4 Slim. Which means, you know those cool people with those fancy fucking headsets? Yeah, you can't fucking use that right now, so oops, get that shit out of here. Ooh. Okay, so let's talk about backwards compatibility for a second. Sony hasn't had backwards compatibility since the original fat-ass PS3, which was made so oddly and weird that in order for them to have backwards compatibility with the PS2, they literally had to build one inside of it in order for them to be able to play the games. And that lost them a shitload of money. So with the PS4, they just straight up said, fuck it, and decided not to have backwards compatibility at all. But Xbox, being the cheeky fuckers that they are, allowed their console to emulate games. So you can actually put the disc inside the console itself and play the games. And Sony, being the money-grubbing fucks that they are, decided, you know what, we should have something like that too. So they introduced PlayStation Now, which at the beginning was $20 a month or $100 a year, which is a really large asking price, especially for the fact that you had to stream most of those games in order for them to play on your console. And at the beginning, it was awful. The menu was shitty, it was really difficult to navigate, there weren't very many good games, and you had to have a constant internet connection in order for you to be able to play it. So God forbid your internet blips for half a second, the whole game crashes, you have to load it back up again, load the game back up again, and then you have to hope to God that it saved your progress before it crashed. And the worst part about it is the input lag was awful.
Prepare yourself. What are you supposed to do with this?
Thankfully, they've fixed the input lag, they've reduced the price by almost half, and they've added a slew of new games in order for it to make it actually worth the while. Unfortunately, they did it right before their PS5 is supposed to be coming out, which they're going to have the same exact problem since the PS5 has not confirmed to have backwards compatibility with anything except for the PS4. I think I'm gonna be sick. Now let's talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Cross-platform gaming. Sony seems rather adamant about not allowing that on their console. It took them months to allow Fortnite and Rocket League, which are the biggest online games, in order for them to be cross-platform. Specifically, right after the Sony CEO said that PlayStation was the best place to play online. Call of Duty, the multiplayer king of online shooters, pretty much had to threaten Sony to take their game from their console unless they allowed cross-platform gaming, because that was their big selling point. And now Sony is saying, oh, you know what, it's totally up to the developers whether or not they allow cross-platform. Sony allows it regardless, which is just straight up not true. The Chucklefish CEO, which is the makers of Wargroove, asked Sony multiple times before their game came out if they were allowed to have cross-platform, and they were just straight up said no. And Chucklefish CEO said it's just a switch that they can flip on their side and it allows cross-platform gaming, but they told them that they were not allowing it. And why, do you might ask, why Sony doesn't like cross-platform? Well, former CEO or president of Sony Online Entertainment, John Smedley, said internally the reason why they didn't allow it was because of money, which is just straight up lame. Xbox and Nintendo over here being buddies, putting Xbox Live on the Nintendo Switch, and Sony, on the other hand, is trying to collect as much gold as possible before they die like a fucking dragon from Lord of the Rings. Oh God, please make it stop! Okay, a few more things and I swear I'll shut up. So you know how Microsoft came out with that idea to have a DRM in their system that didn't allow people to use used games, trade games with their friends and stuff like that, and everybody freaked the fuck out, and then Microsoft was like, just kidding, never mind, we're not gonna do that? You know how Sony came out with a video making fun of Microsoft for that exact idea?
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
During the time that they were making that video trashing Microsoft, they actually patented the same exact fucking thing that they were giving Microsoft shit for. Which, yes, a patent doesn't necessarily mean that they were going to do it, but the fact that they were trashing Microsoft, but then also trying to toy with the idea of making money off that exact same idea is pretty fucking slimy. Also, with PlayStation Now, they used to have a system where they would give you free PS4 games, free PS3 games, and free PS Vita games every month, which was 2 more than what the Xbox was doing. Just recently, they removed the PS3 and the PS Vita games from their PlayStation Plus service. So, they said they wanted to focus more on PlayStation 4 games, which, okay, does that mean that you're going to give us more PlayStation 4 games for their PlayStation Plus service? Nope. Okay. Well, does that mean that you're going to reduce the price since you essentially cut 2/3 of the free games out of your subscription service? Nope. Well, are you going to do anything? Are you going to give us anything? We're going to give you nothing. Absolutely nothing for it.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Okay, so that wraps up my gripes about the PlayStation and Sony, and hopefully they can redeem themselves with the PlayStation 5 and make all their diehard fans a lot happier because they've been put through a lot of shit. So thanks for watching my video, and make sure to please like, share, and subscribe, and also eat, breathe, and tip your waitresses. That's MC Gingerbread, I'm out.